Good morning. Good morning, people. Good morning, fellow humans. Today is Thursday, March 28, 2024. Here we are in wonderful Pahrump or Pahrump, you choose. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. This is Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help you get from where you are to someplace better. That's it. Kind of a simple thing that we tell our students or help our students understand that when it comes to our program, our job is to make their life better. Their job is to make our lives easier. That applies to work. That applies to everything. If you make the other person's life better, your expectation is they're going to make your life easier. And as we say to our students, if we can't make your life better, no, say it this way. If you can't make my life easier, I can't make your life better. And if I can't make your life better, there's no reason to be here. So it's really kind of that simple. And also replacing existing habits with better habits. Replacing existing habits with better habits. I mean, that could be any habit. Okay, I got this habit. I make my bed first thing in the morning. Okay, well, a better habit would be to make it a little bit better, make it a little bit faster, do it just a little bit better. It's a habit, do it better. Improve upon the habits. And habits are the result of routines. Routines are the result of repetition. Repetition, people, repetition. And the bad part about habits is if you do the same routine, the same thing's going to happen. So if your part of your routine is to get up and walk outside in the morning and have a cigarette, the micro routine or the mini routine of getting up and walking outside is going to make you automatically reach for the cigarette because that's part of the routine, the cigarette routine. So one thing you could do is don't go outside. Or if you go outside to do a particular thing and don't take your cigarettes. Okay. Anyway, replace habits with better habits. That comes from routine, which comes from repetition. All right, we're going to jump right into it today. Today's meme is, what if you stopped damaging just once? And down below, we've got in red letter, in our red letter, we have, take that off of red letter for now. Red letter, take Bob Kirkpatrick off of red letter. Okay, we have Seth's blog in red letter. Seth Godin talks about, but what if I'm wrong? Okay, hopefully we'll get to that. Darren Hardy kind of started it all. Best marriage advice you'll ever hear. You'll hear all year. Talk about that. Motivation, Jordan Peterson about stuff. And that's the new red letter stuff for today. But our daily meme, what if you stopped damaging just once? What's the idea behind that? The idea behind that meme, what is a meme? A meme is an idea that spreads from brain to brain. But the idea behind today's meme, what if you stopped damaging just once, is that damaged people damage. People who are damaged damage other people. They cause damage. There's a lot of reasons why they do that. And we're not going to go into the why, because like I just said, there's a lot of reasons why damaged people damage. We're all damaged. My class in trauma and healing in a broken world, starts with the premise that we are all damaged and we all damage. Okay, so given that, what if we decided to stop damaging just once? Just once. We didn't feel we needed to get even. Well, he did it to me. He was going to do it to me. That's life. Life is suffering. What if we decided just to not damage once? So Darren Hardy leads us off with the idea of, where'd he go? Best marriage advice you will hear all year. He's talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice, who on her wedding day, her mother gave her, her mother-in-law gave her the advice of, sometimes it's better to pretend that you're deaf or to act like you're deaf. You don't need and the point would be, you don't need to respond to everything. One way to not respond is pretend you didn't hear it. Just pretend you didn't hear it. You can say that to yourself. I'm pretending I'm deaf. That might be easier than saying, I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to respond. Oh, I have to respond, right? Might be better just to take the position of, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. I'm just not going to respond. Because when we respond, we generally don't think of the collateral damage. When we damage people, we don't think of the collateral damage. Like, I damaged this person. What effect is it going to have on this person over here? What's the ripple effect going to be? So Darren Hardy talks about that. Here's some advice. Seth Godin. What if you're wrong about that idea? You're out there damaging people. Maybe you're wrong in doing it. And I think it was yesterday, Darren Hardy gave a story of a guy, an old man neighbor of a younger guy, started spreading gossip and rumors about this young man. The young man sued him, went to court and sued him, defamation of character. And in his defense, the old man said, they're just stories. They were just stories. I didn't mean to hurt him. It was just stories. And the judge said, okay, well, tomorrow I want you to come back. I'm going to do your sentence. But in the meantime, what I want you to do is go home, write down on a piece of paper all of the negative things that you said about that person. Just write them down and rip them up, rip up the paper, and go scatter it in the neighborhood. So naturally, the old guy thought, yes, yes. See, the judge agrees with me. It's no big deal. All I have to do is write everything down, rip up the paper, and go scatter it in the neighborhood. That's no big deal. I'm kind of environmental conscious, so I'm going to rip them into little pieces so that, they get broken down and get reabsorbed into the environment and goes into the ground. And that's probably good for the ground anyway. And while he's doing it, he said, well, I might as well write down all of the negative things I said and maybe some of the things I thought about saying, but I didn't say. I'm just going to get it off my chest because this kind of makes me feel good. It was a good day in court. So he did as the judge instructed. The next day back in court, the judge says, okay, well, did you do what I asked you to do? Yes, Your Honor. Okay, well, how many things do you think you wrote? Oh, I wrote down a whole bunch of things. How much time did you spend? I spent a lot of time. Where did you scatter it? Did you go around the neighborhood and scatter it? Or did you just go out in your backyard? No, I went around the neighborhood. I scattered it because I didn't want people to see litter on the ground. So I did exactly as you said, Judge. Okay, so here's your sentence. Now you need to go out and collect every one of those pieces of paper, retrieve them, and bring them back to me, and I will dismiss your case. Otherwise, here's the penalty. And the penalty was quite severe. And of course, what happened? Right. He could not retrieve the bad things he said. Once they're out there, they're out there. Once the damage is done, the damage is done. Now, the extension of that, talked by Darren Hardy, was if you happen to be somebody and you come along one of those little pieces of paper, pick it up, roll it in the ball, throw it away, remove it from being out there. And eventually it might go away. The damage might go away. But what if the old man decided in advance, I don't need to damage this person. I don't need to do that. Good morning, what a bevy. It keeps freezing. What does? The screen? The screen is freezing? Because it seems to be working on this end. So, damage and damaging. Let's see what Seth Godin has to say about it. But what if I'm wrong? If we're going to come together and invest the time in conversation, in research, or in analysis, we should begin by understanding what would be required if you or I to change our minds. What would be required? Okay. We should begin by understanding what would be required for you or I to change our minds. If you're not willing to consider that you're wrong, then, in the words of Dan Dennett, you're a spectator, not a participant. Let's agree on the standards of proof and then begin. P.S. Unrelated tip. I just switched my browser to Arc and it's working out great. Recommended. Okay, so forget about that. What if I'm wrong? So if you come into a conversation believing that you're absolutely right, you're not going to get very far. It's going to break down to be an argument. But what if I'm wrong? And that goes hand in hand with the idea of damaged people damage. What if you stop damaging just once? Maybe consider that, well, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. What do I hope to accomplish by getting even? What's the collateral impact going to be on other people? You know what? Better, as Darren Hardy says, pretend you're deaf. Just ignore them. When their name comes up, to look a little bit puzzled and say, who? Oh, yeah, I'm not even thinking about that person anymore. And then just move on. Don't need to damage. We don't need to play an eye for an eye type of thing. Just move on from that person to the next person. Okay, so how are we doing for time? Let's see. It's fixed now. Hi, smile. Oh, good one today. I'm 22 seconds behind. Just so you know. Oh, how do you know you're 22 seconds behind? That's an interesting question. Well, here we are at 14 minutes in. Time to go. I've got to get on the peloton today. Yesterday we had a great day. Newspaper article, story, interview came out. Had some churches there. Good volunteers breakfast. Tammy Pittman is going to donate a sewing machine. So Miss Deborah can be sewing. We're going to bring it to Honeysuckle. We're not going to have it at the apartments. Those are for living, not for working, not for doing stuff. So that's good. And let's see, what else? Going to Vegas today. And yeah, getting ready for Good Friday. Today is the day of the Last Supper. Might be a good day to go out, have dinner with some friends, etc. talk about that, think about that. But the main thing for today is contemplate, think about the idea of what if today, just for today, I didn't damage anyone else. Try that on. Maybe that can become a good habit. And with that, we will say Shivas and Shalom. Boom.